Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. We are coming back from the break, and we are starting the last session of the afternoon. So it will be the studio from the Replicate project. So we are calling San Sebastian. Elisabeth and Nora, are you there?
Hello, Philippe. Thank you.
So we are handing over to you to present, to animate around the smart district. So the floor is yours now.
Okay, Philippe. Thanks, Philippe. Okay. Hello, good afternoon from San Sebastian. So we are the last session of today, and the session is focused on the smart city strategy. So we have three speakers involved in Replicate project. In fact, different issues, topics on the Replicate project that are going to summarize some key points. Yes, we think they are very useful for the development of the smart city district. So first, also it's a pity not to be in Lyon, of course. I hope next time we'll have the option to be there. And also, I think, or I hope that you can understand what we are going to say because of the mass, but see here in San Sebastian is compulsory yet just to wear them inside inside the houses and the buildings. So first speaker is Nora Mendoza. Nora Mendoza is working for Fomento in San Sebastian. That is the Economic Development Department of the City Hall of San Sebastian. And she's working with the smart city strategy in the city. And she's going to give us some insights focused on the development of the smart city districts.
Well, thank you, Elisabeth. Well, thank you to everybody for being there in the afternoon after a long and interesting day. So, well, we have prepared a presentation. So in order to make it more understandable, what we are going to share today. So we are going to share a presentation. Let's see. Just a second. Arriba del Zoom. Can you confirm, please, that you can see the full screen, the presentation?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Well, as Elisabeth has said, we are going to talk about San Sebastian strategy in developing smart, sustainable and inclusive districts with an example of one of our districts, Chomin neighborhood, where we have been implementing several actions that we are scaling up and replicating in other districts of the city. Just a second. Right. Okay, so Fomento San Sebastian, as Elisabeth has said, is the Economic Development Department of the Municipality of San Sebastian, and we have several strategic goals, and we will focus in the third one regarding Donostia Smart City and the smart projects we are developing. So we are promoting several projects in collaboration with members of our local cluster, where we work also together with municipal departments and other entities like universities, technology centers, or companies. We are positioning 4 of the city's neighborhoods. Chomin is one of them. We will focus on that today, but we are also working in the Old Town, in Alta and Amara, other 2 neighborhoods of the city, with different complementary and convergent project strategies or models. Some of them might be bottom-up, like a Smart Calea project, or others like Replicate might be bottom-up. But as I said, they are like convergent strategies and complementary. So we combine different types of strategies to develop smart districts. Some of these projects are coordinated directly by Fomento San Sebastian, and we work with many local partners, municipal departments or enterprises. We have the Dbus with us today, one of our companies, technology companies, Eurohelp, that is today also here with us. And also we work with technology centers, universities, and of course, with European public-private partners, and also working with networks. Well, Replicate project, before working here together in this project, Bristol, Florence, and San Sebastian Lighthouse cities, we already collaborated since 2015 in another project developing our smart city plans. So we have gone all this trip from 2015, from planning to implementation. So what we were designing some years ago, we've been defining more and implementing in Replicate project that has already finished after 5 years this last January. Some of the implementations we have done in the Chomin neighborhood have been developed under the Replicate framework, but we have also implemented additional and complementary actions for development and validation of a business model for a sustainable city that is being replicated in our city, in other neighborhoods, and also in other districts. So focusing on energy, mobility, infrastructures, and ICT, but also in citizen participation activities. Here in the picture, you can see 3 blocks. This one, well, 10 blocks at the end of these houses that were the existing ones. The rest is completely new. So here on the left side, you can see how was looking Chomin neighborhood in 2014 and how it looks today after this district transformation. It's a neighborhood that was developed in the middle of the 20th century with inefficient buildings, with problems connections, a prison that is going to be removed. Now you can see it here in the picture, location of industry, etc. And with some flooding since the river is going through one side of the district. And we have made a complete transition and transformation, and it's one of the latest major urban developments in the city. Also a space for experimentation, pilot projects, and to develop our city smart strategy. So it's a flagship. We can consider it as a smart district flagship, and with initiatives that work towards environmental and economic sustainability. That, as we said, are being already scaled up and can be an example for other cities as well. Going in more detail into energy efficiency actions, the houses we've seen in the previous picture that were existing there, these 56 houses in 10 blocks, we're looking, as you can see here in the left downside picture, and we have been retrofitting them and improving the quality of life of the citizens living there. The evaluation of the housing has been very important. Also, they are already integrated in the new district, and with important reductions of greenhouse emissions, inclusive a reduction of noise, and also an important increase in efficiency and comfort. And they are also connected to the new district heating developed for the district that we can see in the next slide. So this is a centralized thermal energy system for heating and hot water that is designed to supply not only the retrofitted houses, but also the almost 1,400 new houses. And it's a municipal ownership through Fomento San Sebastian with a public-private partnership business model. Again, the citizen at the core to improve the quality of life of them, improve comfort, and they can use a platform for monitoring and to follow all the consumptions and all the use they are doing of the heating in their houses. We have an additional pilot project called the Smart Homes. We have developed it in 162 houses, social houses, and well, we are doing real-time monitoring of energy consumption of electricity, water heating, and several devices that have been also implemented in these houses. We consider it as a knowledge generator, so we will be able to transfer the positive results and success stories to the neighborhood and other districts. Through this monitoring, we will be able also to to provide new services and to boost energy efficiency in the houses. Well, I won't go deep into sustainable mobility since the next expert from Dbus will talking about electric buses and hybrid buses and all this strategy in the city, but well, just to see that we have other additional initiatives in the city, complementary ones to the municipal public buses. And regarding ICT and infrastructures, well, in Choming, we have the first district with public fiber optics at the disposal of any operator and for the municipal services themselves. So it allows us to centralize and manage remotely any service that is being deployed in the district, for instance, traffic light network, river level alarms, etc. So we can't forget the importance of infrastructures and ICTs connections as well, not only physical ones, but also connectivity through fiber optics, etc. And we are also working on a smart public lighting systems. Well, apart from these implementations, we have done a collaborative reflection process with all the citizens of the Choming neighborhoods to define and design the future of Choming, how they want which kind of neighbor they want to live in, and to collaborate to build a more efficient, modern, connected, and sustainable neighborhood. We've been working in 4 fields: in energy efficiency, sustainable mobility, ICT and infrastructure, and cooperative services. Through different sessions that, well, with a public presentation, several workshops, and right now we are in the implementation process. So we have built proposals for the future in collaboration not only with the citizens, also local companies and the municipality with Fomento San Sebastian. We've been working in all this process. And right now we are with specific initiatives, putting them in place with the citizens and raising awareness, training citizens, also with communication and dissemination activities, and involving them in different types of services. So we can talk about integration to generate a smart city strategy that has been and is being materialized through pilot development that we develop them in different neighborhoods, promoting urban regeneration, and that allow us this replication in other areas of the city and other cities. Regarding energy, our aim is to promote a number of efficiency refurbishments on high impact housing, as well as we work as well in the identification of energy systems to go from individual systems to community systems that can be expanded out to community systems, grouping demand, achieving greater efficiency, and so on. Improving, of course, the infrastructures so we can provide greater comfort, safety, efficiency, like in connectivity, light and sanitation services. The data collection and its analysis, it's allowing us to improve the management of public services and generating value for the public. The promotion, we promote the transition towards mobility as a service supporting by environmentally sustainable modes of transport. And well, as we said, we promote participatory processes to adapt strategies and projects to the specific needs of each of the districts and the interest of the general public, but also to the interest of specific groups. As Economic Development Department, we try to ensure that all these initiatives and projects are economically sustainable, at least at medium or long term, not only for the promoters, but also for its users and beneficiaries. And we also take into account the local commerce and the local shops who work not only with our technological local companies, but we also put in place applications and services for commerce and small businesses in the city. And we work in collaboration, so here with many projects, many cities, many entities, public-private entities all around Europe. And well, it's a pleasure to work in a network and that way. So that was a little bit the presentation I had prepared. So Elisabeth.
Yeah, so thanks, Nora. Maybe you could have some questions on your mind. So if you have any question, you can write in the chat. And after the free presentations, we'll come back to the questions and we'll try to answer them. But before going to the second speaker, I will ask also to I would like to make some questions to Nora. The first one is related to the involvement of the citizens. You mentioned, and I think all of us, when we are thinking about the smart district, we are thinking about the citizens. So I would like to know, from your point of view, how has been the involvement of the citizens in the project, and on the other hand, how it should be, if you think anything they have to change just to improve that involvement.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the beginning of the project, we were making some specific actions regarding with citizens regarding the retrofitting activities. We needed to involve all the 156 houses in the retrofitting actions. We had a very successful engagement actions because 100% of them joined these retrofitting initiatives, and then all the retrofitting is already finished and with very positive results. During these years, we have been learning also how to combine different type of processes, like more individual or specific ones, and combine them with more longer processes that probably are needed for wider developments. This is the case of the participatory process we have done in Chomin neighborhood, involving the complete neighborhood, all the houses, all the citizens that are living there. So after this process, during the process, we identified the specific actions that we are putting in place right now. For instance, one of them is to the energy efficiency advice we are giving to each family. They have also a monitoring system and application where they can check and see, follow all their consumption, etc. We are also in a process of aggregating the demand in order to have a better prices for the purchase of electricity that comes from green renewable energies. Another initiative that we have is to analyze, apart from the renewable energies we already have in the district, to analyze other possibilities, other potential renewable energies that we could be implementing in the neighborhood. And also, of course, a smart homes project that we are in the monitoring phase, so will allow us to provide additional services to the citizens. And in other districts, we are planning to have additional participatory processes as well. So, well, this combination of specific actions and also wider or longer processes, I think that it has been something positive, and we will follow, continue doing this type of things.
Okay, and related also with the, sorry, I don't know if you can.
Sorry.
Related to the citizens environment, also we have, I think all of us in mind, the replication. We are always speaking of replication. Has any of the implementations been replicated in San Sebastian, in the city? And if it's the case, how has been the process and the challenge that the city has had to face just to replicate the actions?
Okay, thank you for the question. Well, we are working in 4 different districts in the city. Each of them is different, with a different socioeconomical reality. So we need to adapt each of our solutions and of our implementation or actions to the reality of this district. So we can learn from previous one, but it's important to adapt them to the starting point of each district. One of the districts where we are working, they have an association of citizens in the neighborhood that is really very, very active, and they came to us in order to ask for some collaboration in a participatory process they wanted to make with the complete neighborhood. So they knew about Chomin and they came to us in order to collaborate there. And we did a process. So the previous experience was really interesting in order to go faster and adapt it, and all this learning process is really positive for next steps in other neighborhoods. And right now we are analyzing specific initiatives that they want to put in place. So analyzing them and designing this implementation, how it could be. In another district where we are working, the situation is very different. There is not an association, so active association. It's quite big area. And while we are there analyzing specific interventions, we are working already with citizens. We did advisory service regarding energy efficiency, but analyzing also in this district, which is the reality of all the buildings, and if some of them could be requiring retrofitting actions and looking for funding and how could be the model. So we have been doing some analysis and some studios in the area, and also analyzing in the city in some specific points if district heating solutions might be applied. So I think that all this process has helped us in order to implement and replicate in a faster and better way and adapting it to the reality of each neighborhood.
Okay, so maybe we could have more questions by the end of the session, but after listening about citizens' involvement, energy efficiency, we are going to move to the mobility. We know also the mobility is a strong point, we guess, just for the smart districts. So the second speaker is Javier Vallejo. He's the Deputy General Manager of Dbus in Spanish, that is the public transport company in the city of San Sebastian. Please, Javier.
Thank you, Eli. Good afternoon, everyone. I have a short presentation to explain you which has been the measure implemented in San Sebastian according to the bus service. Okay. Go back. Yes. Okay. So in San Sebastian, we should implement in 2015 a complete electrical urban bus lane. We identify this line had to be line 26 that covers the Urumea riverside and connects this district with the city center. This line was operated by 4 buses with a frequency of every 15 minutes. So inside the replica project, we should implement 2 full electrical buses, and the other 2 buses should be hybrid buses. So in December 2015, we opened the call for tenders, and we decide to buy these 2 buses to the manufacturer Ibiza. Those buses start operation in July 2016, and previously we had to adapt them to the characteristics of the bus service in San Sebastian. At the same time, we also, our company, Dbus, incorporated 13 new hybrid buses, and 2 of these 13 hybrid buses also they went to give service to line 26. Also, we had to make different adaptations to the depot, installation of 2 charging stations. Also, our drivers received special training to use these new buses. The buses were presented the 5th of July of 2016, and from that month to now, we are still monitoring the results of these buses. As the results of this monitoring, the manufacturer Irizar has been introducing different changes to improve the service, to improve the range and the hours of operation, and also the efficiency of the charging process during the night. The first results were incorporated in the deliverable we have, and it's also available in the website of the Replicate project. I think the name is replicate-project.eu. So there is available. They are very interesting conclusions. So the characteristics of the electrical buses, they are full electric buses with a traction system and are zero emissions. These buses are supposed to avoid the 80 tons of CO2 to the quality of the air of the city. Besides this, we also incorporate hybrid buses. These hybrid have electric and diesel traction. They have a less fuel consumption between 25 and 30%. They also have reduction of emissions, but in this case, instead of 80 tons, is 22 tons per year. If they are available all the days of the year, of course. And also 100% noise reduction, but only in the bus stops. So in this project, in the 5 years, in the almost 5 years of operation of these full electric buses, additional, we have previously from 2014 another electric bus. So we have been covering the services of Line 26 with 3 buses, 2 incorporated by the Replica project, and 1 that we had previously in Dbus. So this operation of these 3 buses, we have achieved more than 440,000 kilometers, and we have avoided 338 tons of CO2. In this project, Dbus had a budget of more than 1.5 million euros, with a grant from the European Union of approximately 1 million euros to make the purchasing of these 2 full electric buses, infrastructure in the depot with 2 charging stations, and also we have also budget for the change of batteries. The initial batteries were supposed to have a life of 5-6 years. Then I will explain that we have not achieved this. 3 years and a half, the batteries have suffered a degradation. So we had to make the battery change in 2020. So we have take advantage of the occasion of the COVID crisis to make these changes. And now the new batteries, I will explain later, they have a better numbers, a better performance of the buses. But in the deliverable of 2018, we have not the last results. In my presentation, in the last slide, I will share with you the last conclusions of the performance of the full electric buses in San Sebastian. So I'm going quickly now. We have tested these full electric buses in line 26. That is supposed to be every day in this line at least 1 full electric bus. Line 26 is a flat route that connects the Euromea Riverside district with the city center, and with a mileage of 220 kilometers. We also have tested this bus in line 21. is also a flat route, but with less mileage. In this case, 150 kilometers. We also have tested this in line 14. This is a mixed flat and hilly route with 190 kilometers per day. And also in line 41, that is also a flat and hilly route with approximately 200 kilometers of mileage a day. And the conclusions have been, with the initial batteries of these full electric buses, that they are okay, very good results in line 21 and 14. The SOC, which you see here, the SOC, the SOC is the charging we have at the beginning of the morning, the initial charging, and the SOC at the end of the day, the charge we have once the bus returns to the depot. In these lines is above the 15%. What does mean? That the electric bus starts in the morning with the 100% charge. They operate 15, 16 hours or 200 kilometers, 220, whatever, and they return to the depot with a 15% of charge. In these lines, we only have had problems in extremely cold days. That is not very useful. It's not very useful in San Sebastian to have those kind of days with 0 degrees on -1 or 1. Normally, San Sebastian below 5 degrees is not usual, and above 35 degrees centigrade. That is not also usual to have those kind of temperatures in San Sebastian. But the rest of the days, perfect performance. Those are situations that also occur in Barcelona or in Madrid. In Barcelona and Madrid, the experiences we have, and in Berlin, in Paris, etc., in big cities, are buses that operate 15, 16 hours with less than 200 kilometers. And those batteries, that are several batteries, initial batteries, they had the manufacturers 5 years ago, are okay. The problem is with line 26. Line 26 has a route, a mileage of 220 kilometers. And these buses can achieve this. But the problem is that if they start the morning with 100% of batteries, of SOC, at the end of the day, after operating 200 kilometers, 220 kilometers, they return to the depot with less than the 5% of the charge. What does that mean? That in the 7 hours we have during the night with the bus in his place charging, in the charging process, the charging process is not cannot afford to bring the batteries from the less than the 5% to the 100%. And this means that the next morning the bus is not going to be 100% of batteries. It's going to be 92%, 90%, or whatever. And that means that with these batteries, we cannot afford 5 consecutive days, the labor days, to be operating in line 26 these kind of buses. So with the manufacturer, we've been doing seven types of improvement actions to improve this, to reduce consumption and to improve the charging process during the night. All those things are perfectly explained in the deliverable you have in the website of the project. Remove this. Oh. So first of all, we try to improve the traction system to improve consumptions. Also, the climate control, very important. The demasking device also. This we have a very big consumption during the foggy days and rainy days we have in San Sebastian. Many days we have that kind of days. So also we have an opportunity to make consume reductions in this type of action. Also improvement on the charging process during the night. we try to reduce consumption of assistance systems we have also in the bus, and also training for drivers. But with these solutions, although we have made these kind of improvements, the results have been that we had to adopt this kind of solution. You see at the end, line 26, we have 4 buses. So, for example, Monday, two electrical buses go to line 26 and the third bus to line 21. So the next day, the following day, the 2 buses that had service in line 26, on Tuesday, they go to line 21. And the bus that went to line 21 on Monday went to line 26 on Tuesday. So with this solution, we can afford inside Replicate project that every day we had at least one full electric bus in this line 26. But the reality was that the buses we had with Zebra batteries, Ibiza Zebra batteries, were not suitable to this kind of requirements of bus line routes. Why? Because they are not working properly with routes with more than 210 kilometers in 5 consecutive days. So we had to make more improvements. Apart of that, at the end of 2019, there happened the degradation of batteries that were supposed to last until 2020, and in 1 year and a half before, we had to make the change of batteries. So in the change of batteries, instead of implementing same Zebra batteries, we change and we install ion lithium batteries. And we take advantage of the situation of the COVID. During 6 months, from March to September, the full electric buses didn't work in any line. And from September to now, we have 2 of the buses. The third one, this year, we are going to change to the new batteries and make some adjustments in the bus. And now we are performing with the ion lithium batteries. We have improved in the night charging process from 8 hours to less than 5 hours. We have also improved reliability of the buses, and we have improved also the range or the mileage of the day. We have achieved 265 kilometers. 1 day only, no, not 5 consecutive days. But now, in line 26, that we have only 220 kilometers, we have no problem to achieve this 5 consecutive days. So now, these Ibiza E2 buses with these ion lithium batteries, we can say that they are suitable for line 26. But this solution is solution of 2020. In 2016, this solution wasn't available. We had other batteries available. I hope in 5 years, in 2025, we can have another batteries, because this is the challenge we have. Maybe someone will make a question about this, but the challenge we have is to achieve not 265 kilometers, no, 320 kilometers, and charging process during the night, 3-4 hours, something like that. Because that's what we want. And in that moment, we can be prepared to change all the fleet of the bus from a diesel fleet to full electric. Not talking about economic issues and price, only for operation. Because if a full electric bus cannot fulfill the mileage required by the line that is performing in, we have to change the bus at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the night, because we have to put a bus of substitution to finish the offer service, and it's not worth to do that. So I think I finish with this, and I am available for more questions you want to ask me.
You already mentioned some of the challenges for the future of the public transport, maybe the batteries, but I would like to ask all that. Which one do you think that are the challenges for the future of the public transport? Just to improve the mobility in the cities and just to connect different smart districts in the cities to have the full smart city?
Well, and not also in the city, in any city. At least in San Sebastian, as I've said before, we need full electric buses with batteries. Batteries that not are degraded in 3 years and a half. The batteries must have a life of 7-8 years. Now, these batteries are supposed to last 7 or 8 years, but are new now. We'll see in 2028 if they are still that batteries working properly. We will see. We don't know. I have to say that this, I think, is the more, I don't know any more experience in the world, most demanding experience that this one we have in San Sebastian. In other cities are experiences like in Line 21, very easy to fulfill that. Line 26 or other lines we have with more mileage are more difficult to do it with these buses. So the challenges are more range, 320 kilometers a day, 19 hours operation, batteries life of 7-8 years, and the third point, and very important point, is the price of the buses. Now the price of the buses, according to this project, electric bus is 500,000 euros, and if you have to change the batteries at 7-8 years, and the life of the bus is 12, 13, 14 years, so you have to make at least one change of batteries. And a new battery is about 200,000 euros. So according to the life of the life of the bus, not taking into account the maintenance, only the purchasing price is 3 times more than a diesel bus. So I think in the future, bus prices and battery prices have to low down in a very important way, and the challenge of the bus manufacturers and the operators also is that if you add the price of the bus and the maintenance cost during the life of the bus, that the cost is the same. It has to be the same. So if in 14 days, price plus maintenance cost are in this level, and with electric bus are in this level, operators will buy a full electric buses. But if not, it's going to be very. They can buy the budgets of the operators and the cities are not infinite, are limited. So that's the point.
Thanks, Javier. So let's move to the last speaker, last but not least. So after the energy efficiency, mobility, another very important issue, we think very interesting issue for the smart city, for the smart district and the smart cities is the open data. So we have with us Karmel Idarraga, that is the open data project manager from the Amatech group.
Okay. So thank you, Ali. Hi everybody. Bonjour. As Ali says, I'm Karmel Idarraga. I'm the Open Data Project Manager at Amatech Group. We in Amatech Group have been working in this type of projects almost for 7 years within the framework of open government. with main has 3 axes, 3 pillars about the transparency, the citizen participation, and collaboration. I think we are a little bit late, so I will try to go faster. First of all, as I said previously said, we are Amatech group. We are 2 brands in this group. We are Eurohelp Consulting, as Nora said previously, and Amatech the Digital, and we give some services like design and user experience, digital marketing, consulting and development, robotic process automation, and so on. The point is that we cover all the life cycle of the digital solutions, from the analysis of the use cases, from maintenance, supporting, developing, and continuous improvement. So let's talk about open data. That is where we came today. When we public open data, we have to consider some points that are very important. We talk, most of them maybe quite clear, but it's that they are important also. Our data must be discoverable, as we say. That means that the data must be searchable. So not only searchable, we must have a search engine, a proper search engine, but it's important to promote this data, maybe by holding hackathons, or maybe with going to speakings, or go to colleges, and the important is that our citizens knows that we are publishing this data, and what kind of data we have, and what way they can do with this data. So in this data, it's important also, have in the bottom of the graphic, to promote these standards, because promoting these standards, the data must be interoperate with other entities, and they must use our data, and we will be able to use all the data that is available for us. Of course, our data must be accessible, will be well organized for the usage. It's important to publish metadata for giving some information to our data, not only the data by itself, but it's very important. I will be stop one minute in this one. It's important to the data to be measurable. What does this mean? It's sometimes we are publishing some data about different sections and publishing the data in our open data portal, and we have no ways to analyze what's the usage it's given to this data. So if we have a measurable data, we can analyze which section are using more or least, or and why. Maybe it could be because we have not so good level of data in one section, or maybe because the citizens doesn't comply much more because of, I don't know, the price or something. But normally in the cities we have an action plan, or we have a goals we want to achieve, and with this data we can balance the effort we are making in one section or in another. So that's why it's so important to be measurable. And If you want to go one step further, we can talk about link data. Link data it's a data. Normally, it's use a data format called RTF that it's made by a triple. We have a subject. We have it's like when we speak. We have a subject, we have a verb, and we have a predicate. So, for example, we can say we can publish in this data. Here lives John Williams, and John Williams. We link this John Williams with the John Williams that is in Wikipedia, or the John Williams that is in the film musician database, for example. So in this way, we are making as a universal database that is it's like, yeah, let's say a universal database in the world. There is a technique called follow your nose that if you start with in one point and you are going with these links with for example with Open Data Euskadi to this film musician film database, so you are going further and further, and you are getting more and more and more information. That's the goal of the link data. And speaking about open data, this is like open data ladder. We have five steps in terms of what we are serving, the data we are publishing. In the first step, we are in the first step. If we are making our data available on the web, and it's like the first one. It will be a PDF, like an image, or a graphic, or whatever. If we are in this point, we will get the first star. To gain the second star, instead of the image or the graphic, if we are putting our data as a structured data, for example, as an Excel file, we will gain the second star. In the third step, we will be in the third step if we are using our non-proprietary open format. For example, as we see in the image, CSV instead of an Excel, or a plain text file, or this kind of open formats. In the fourth step will be if we give URIs to denote things, so unique URIs to go to our data, will be in the fourth point. And if we want to reach the top of the roof of the open data, if we link our data to another data provider providing context, as we say before, with this type of links, we will be on the top of the open data stairway. What about open data and linked data? We don't have say until now, but there are two types of open data. We are speaking about public open data. Okay, normally in the public administrations, this is the open data we are working on, but also it's exist and private open data, not only private, because you will charge people by using it, but sometimes in some city councils, maybe you have some entities depending on the city council, and sometimes the city council can see all the data published by those entities, but the entities itself can see the information of other entities. In this case, will be the case of the private open data. So in terms of public open data, the recommendations to publish them in the non-proprietary formats to be readable by machine and human, to be easy to access, easy to use, reusable without restrictive licenses, and of course no cost for users. As I said before, sometimes there are some APIs that you can charge for the users, but normally on public administrations, this is not the focus of this kind of projects. Linked data. Okay, I will go more faster. It's important on linking data to give some URIs unique for this data, to use RDF and Sparkle that are open standards in the industry, and of course to link all those data. This will be a photography or a graphic of the linked data of today. Here, if you can see anything. If you do zoom in here, for example, we have open data Euskadi, and these all the links that have with other servers, open data servers. What we have done in Replicate project in terms of linked open data, we make the analysis of the suitable ontologies, the definition of the linked open data architecture, the development and the deployment of all the infrastructure and the project. Revealing the opportunities from open data. Maybe as we say here, the open data, everybody that has the potential to help and grow economies and transform societies and all the cool things that could happen in the world, but at the time the economic value of these products have not yet fully realized it. So we have to be quite exhausted when we change some efforts on these types of projects instead of in terms of linked open data. Open data, it's another thing. I think how we are going. I will go to the impact on our enterprise. As I say before, we have been working with in this type of projects, but with Replicate project, we increase our know-how in this type of projects. And this greatly increased it, and we were able to define and to develop some services and some products that we are able to offer to our customers. So it was a very good point to us to participate in this project. And for example, in some cases we have the Replicate project. We have here the open data platform of the Regional Council of Gipuzkoa, the open data platform of Donostia San Sebastian, the same for Araba, and for example, the open data and naked data for the Basque government. And that's all, folks.
Okay. Thanks, Karmel. So we have just 5 minutes, and we have 2 questions on the chat. Maybe I will ask the 3 of you just to answer in 2 minutes or 1.5 minutes for each of you. One is related to the mobility in terms of operation and maintenance costs. What was the difference using electric and hybrid bus? For energy efficiency, Nora, we are speaking now that the solutions are economically sustainable, But what about the financial sustainability for private investors looking for for profit? And from Karmel, I will ask which are the open data services that are mainly requested by cities, and which are the benefits for the cities. So if you can answer in 1.5 minutes just to conclude on time.
Well, related to the buses, yes, the operation cost and maintenance cost, the difference between electric and hybrid, related to diesel buses in operation are less cost, of course, from electric more reduction, and hybrid a little bit reduction. The problem is with the maintenance cost. Now the maintenance cost of the electric buses are not less than the maintenance cost of diesel buses. So in the balance we have to make in cost in terms of cost between electric and diesel. That's the reason why I told you that it's not worth to buy 3 times more an electric bus, because you don't recover that exit of cost with the maintenance and operation reduction cost. But in the hybrid buses, yes. The hybrid buses, the reduction of the increase of the price of the hybrid bus related to the diesel is worth, because you have reductions in maintenance and operation costs, but not yet in electric buses. I think electric buses are like kids now. We are adapting to them and watching which are the opportunities to make the reductions, but I think it will take more years to find the point of balance precise to decide to buy an electric bus instead of other buses.
Okay, Nora,
yes. Well, there was a person asking about the financial sustainability. Well, when we talk about economic sustainability, we don't talk only from one side. We speak about everybody. If we work, for instance, in public-private partnerships, like an example could be the district heating of San Sebastian that we have. It's the municipal ownership through Fomento San Sebastian, but then we have a private company who is exploiting and giving the service and giving the maintenance. So it has to be economic benefit for that company. Otherwise, it won't work for 15, 20 years. So when we talk about this sustainability, we are looking for everybody, but also for the citizens, that they get a good service without an increase of price that they can't afford. So we'll do this. Okay. Thank you.
and just the benefits and the services requested by cities related.
Yes, I was looking for it. Normally, the problem is that normally a regulatory compliance that requires municipalities to police the data. So that's the first goal of the cities to be compliant with this mandatory. But for example, talking about the benefits, I was looking at it because it was a city that has an irrigation system that it starts the irrigation every day, for example, at 7 p.m. But sometimes it was raining and it has no sense to start the irrigation. And this, so with the public data, they mix the data of the weather with the system, so they will able to not start the irrigation if it was raining all the day. So it was a benefit in costs for the city, also in the water, and also it's very good for the city to say that we are ecological, and this type. It's not only a monetary benefit, but it have some benefits. For it's an example, but there will be a lot of them.
Okay, so it's 5:30 now. We are just on time, Philippe. I don't know. I will give you the floor to you. I would like to thank you, Jas, for giving us the opportunity to participate in the Smarter Together event, final event.
Okay. Thank you very much, Elisabeth, and thank for your speakers as well.
Thank you.
It has been a long day, so thank you very much for all the participants. And tomorrow we start at 9 with the presentation of the joint paper forward by the political session. Many things. So thank you all for your participation. Have a relaxing evening, and we look forward for tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.